It is hotter than fire today. Of course, right now it's not because I waited until it is it's about 8:30 or so. But I just wanted to show you all what I'm working on now. I haven't really posted anything. It's hard to see in the video like that. It is a 77 El Camino. It's in pretty good shape, physically, cosmetically. It's got a 75 grill and nose piece on it, or the grill I think is actually the 77, but the headlight bezels and surround are 75. That's my old pickup there. I just got done patching it together. Used it for the last few months of school. I haven't really posted anything since I got the turbo 4-cylinder propane 60 model Ford done. That's because the turbo not manufacturers, but rebuilders that I had, I don't know if they got something together wrong, or more likely I got some sort of debris down in it, snapped the turbo shaft. I did drive it for a while without the turbo, but as you can imagine, a 2.3 liter Ford on propane, so it's losing about 15% of the power that it had anyway, naturally aspirated. Now on forced induction, they do really good, but it didn't have forced induction, so it was kind of weak. But overall, it was a success. I took a pickup that was essentially ready for the crusher and drove it for a few months, and actually put it in a truck show. It wasn't a truck show where there was any money, because frankly those are a little silly. I just like to go and hang out with the guys that are rebuilding vehicles and just kind of have a cool time. So I'm working on this El Camino as kind of a stopgap until I can get to my other pickup. It's been frustrating. I got it for a good price. It was running when I parked it. Well, it was, but that was 2 years ago, and my set a bunch of the wires off. I can't get the fuel to be right, or I haven't been able to get the fueling right. That kind of brings me to the message that I wanted to say. Several of us that are Christians, believers in God, in Jesus Christ as the way of salvation, we don't do things for a while, and we let ourselves get kind of lazy in prayer and reading and just being kind, and we get out of practice. And that's what's happening with this El Camino. I used to be excellent at diagnosing these sorts of problems. I used to be excellent at carburetor work. I haven't done it in 15 years. So what used to be pretty standard and easy for me is now fairly difficult and frustrating, and I've found myself questioning a lot of things about my own ability. And I just want to use that as kind of an illustration that maybe it's time that you just go out and be kind, that you go out and you tell somebody about Jesus, that you go out and you pray with somebody. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to make a big show. In fact, please don't make a big show. People are sick of that. I'm sick of that. God's sick of that. But just go out and pray with somebody. You don't have to put your hands on them. You don't have to make a big noise. But there's a lot of people that are hurting. I just got back from a trip, and everywhere I went in the entire United States that I crossed, I didn't go over the entire United States, but in the South, everywhere that I went, people were starving for somebody to just be nice, just to be willing when they made eye contact and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And then if they needed to, say, "How can I pray with you?" And we've lost that a lot in our culture right now, both because of this fear of the virus and also just because of life and being busy. So my encouragement is to practice your mechanics again, and go back and redo the first works if you need to. But more than anything, just brush up on that, maybe those rusty skills of just everyday being a Christian. And if you don't know what that is, then I may put a link to my church. We have a bunch of videos online, and I'm not trying to proselyte you. You go wherever God leads you. But if you need a little bit of guidance and some teaching, we got some good teachings. So God bless you. Hopefully I'll have another follow-up video with this thing running soon, or at the crusher. I'm not sure which.